Okay, good evening, Boat Club. It's May the 10th. It's Tuesday, I want to say. I have a handful of items to update you guys on. Primarily, there's a status report that I want to try to communicate and articulate to you guys because it's relevant in where we're at and where we're going. So, with that said, I want to get started because I have a fair amount to cover. So, I want to start first. I like the financial stuff. It's like a ongoing bragging thing for me, not on purpose, but it's really important to get to a primary point. You might remember this slide. Last month in March, we had a world record for the boat club in both revenue and it wasn't a record in net income, but we were keeping 12.7% in the month of March. So I was pretty stoked about it. But it turns out that April, we completely disrespected the month of March. So once again, for whatever reason, we have hit a sweet spot. So the revenue, again, is another world record by far. We went from just over 80,000 to 93,000 and some change. Now, that was an assessment month, so that contributed about 7,500 bucks of that. Also, you can see the bottom line. That may be a record. I didn't go back and look, but we kept almost 30% of that last month. Don't get your hopes up. We need that money, as it turns out. But the point is, what I think, with our membership level exactly where it is, I think we've really hit a sweet spot. So now, my thought process is that it's time to not necessarily pump the brakes on new membership, but I think it's time for us to focus now on operations and keeping up. One of the strong attributes of the club is that it's small and it's a community, and we feel like we know each other, and I'm terrified of damaging that sense at all. So I think the point is that I'm really happy. I couldn't check the numbers today because the website's down. But last time I checked, we have 316 membership families, and right now everything is really solid financially. So now it's time to turn our focus on operations and improving our membership experience while we're at the club. So many of the following slides that I'm about to cover now are related to that. That's why I started with this. This just shows the back end of the house. We had an objective to, by December of this year, I wanted to be at an averaging a rate of operations, means bar and galley, of 36,000 bucks. That put us at that $1 million sweet spot. Well, we're there now. They did 40,000, more than 40 grand in April, and they did the 35 in March. And as we suspected, that sort of is a magic number. It's giving us the cash flow that we need to do the things that we need. So let's talk about some of that. Now, last week we had a staff meeting. This is our crew right here. It's quite good energy. They're primarily bartenders and galley staff. We had a fun event, and we got in this little armored military vehicle, and we cruised around San Diego tasting tacos and tequilas and things of that nature. It was a working meeting, and we did, in addition to having some fun, we had some good discussions. We talked about and established a mission statement for the operations for the boat club, so that was done. But I wanted to communicate a few of the messages that we talked about during that meeting because it's important for us all to be on the same page. So what I believe is that who we were until now, I mean, the boat club has always sort of been the way it has been for a long time. It's not who we are today. We don't have to suffer through not being able to afford or having excuses to not do things right. We've done things right now for a series of months, and the benefit of that now is that, or the responsibility of that now, is to rethink how we do business and start to do things right. So the message that I had is that who we were does not define who we are or who we're becoming or who we're going to be. And I want everybody to think differently. I want people to think outside of the box. It's not that easy. I've been, many of us have been around there for years, and we think the same way about the boat club, and this is just how it's always been. So I want us to change. We have to change in many ways. In order to get to the service level to support our current membership, we have to change. We have to improve. But more importantly, we have to change our way of thinking. We need to be better organized. We have to plan. Plan is going to be key for us to continue down a sustainable success. Our staff needs to be constructively open with one another, especially when it comes to conflicting viewpoints as we start to make changes and improvements. I want to align everybody with the purpose, and I want to have real ownership. Okay? And then, of course, we talked about adopting continuous improvement behaviors. So that's sort of the theme for our meeting. Also, as part of that, which is a really important component for short term, is we are hiring a Galley Manager. A Galley Managers will have full ownership of all aspects of the food service operation, supporting the clubhouse manager, event coordinator with pre-scheduled professional delivery of service. So the point is, if you know somebody who would make a good Galley Manager, please send them our way. We are hiring. We actually have 2 positions opening Galley Manager and a part-time administrative assistant. Okay? So Galley Manager. If you know somebody, send them our way. We did some prototyping. I did some prototyping on something called Cup Club. And the idea is that instead of putting 3,000 plastic cups in the landfill every month, which is what the boat club does, if you're so interested and wanted to buy into Cup Club, you have a personalized stainless steel insulated tumbler that's got your name on it. So we're still working the logistics about where we're going to store these things, where we keep them, but the order has been placed, and people like Maria will be excited that we have even a insulated wine glass too that will be logoed, and they also make a good souvenir. So this is going to fall into the merchandise category, buying and selling merch, because some people are going to buy it just to keep it. But if you want your cup maintained and staying at the boat club, you can have that. Okay, a little extra added benefit. Also, starting now, we have the 2 kayaks that are for rent. They're in the POS system. See your bartender, $25. I don't know, a couple hours, however long till you get tired, I suppose. So you can rent kayaks at the club now. Okay, let's talk about what we call the beer garden project. It's the removal of the gravel and converting it to concrete. The bids are coming in. I want to escape out of this and show you what the work is entailing. So this is the gravel area after it has been poured with concrete. So it's going to look nice. I don't have photographs of it yet. A lot of the details have not exactly been worked out. This is one theoretical spot for a bar to go, but for sure this space will not have any permanent fixtures in it, like fire pits, things of that nature, because we want it to be a universal space that can be converted based on events or whatever we need it for in the future. There's a little bit of work that we have in front of us. This right here, of course, has got to go at least right here. This is a stand-up paddleboard rack. That's going to be a heavy move. I'm talking to some of the folks that erected that thing. It's going to be a challenge, but I don't. There are riggers that can move anything. I think we're going to have to drag it, but anyway, the stand-up paddleboard thing has to go. There's also another idea a couple ideas about the container. Right now, the half of the area underneath this container is gravel. So I believe the first bid has concrete being poured there. So if that's the case, we're going to at least have to temporarily move it. Then one theory is to move it all the way over by the fence. One of the problems with that is that if you move it all the way over by the fence, right there is where we're keeping the stage, and we do have quick draw stuff that we need. We don't want to walk all the way across the property for. So one idea was to turn it 90 degrees over here, put it right behind the boats. There is a utility thing. So that is also another idea. That does take up some of the grass there that the campers are using, but that's one concept. If you have some opinions about this stuff, we're interested to hear it. And then, of course, if we're really thinking differently and out of the box, like I'm encouraging everyone to do, could do something like this. Every time I bring this up, I get a lot of funny responses. But you know who has a swimming pool? Every other yacht club in San Diego, or at least 90% of them. So anyway, I don't think we're getting that, but for sure, looks like this beer garden thing's going to happen. It's really going to clean that up nicely. Okay, let me go back to the real world over here. Where was I? Other than that, what do we still need? We need a flooring guy. I think Pete said he's got a guy, so we need him to show up. We need a probably not a pergo, but a snap-in laminate flooring in the galley prep area. That's a very small area, and I think the Chandler Hall will look so much nicer when we put new flooring in there. So right now, early stages, we need bids. If you know a flooring guy, especially with boat club pricing, send them our way. We do need a 500-pound Manitowoc ice machine. I want a new one. These used machines, I mean, you save a couple of grand, but I'm kind of done messing with those. We got one that's blown up. We need a washer and dryer. We found an area where we can save a tremendous amount of dough by washing some of our bar rags and some of the linens. How about table linens? I mean, that would be huge. So washer and dryer, we got to figure out where to put them, but if we could acquire the hardware, that would be good too. We need additional volunteers for Adopt an Area. We talked about that last time, and some people have stepped up and have gone to work on that. So thank you, and anybody else is interested, send us a note. We also published this Kumeyaay video from the event on Saturday. I really encourage you to check that out. I think I did a pretty good job on that, and that was even a Saturday morning kind of hangover 45-minute project, whip that thing together, and I think it came out really nice. So check that out. And lastly, but not least, this weekend is opening day weekend for Southwestern Yacht Club, your reciprocal club. Friday night, I think 5 o'clock, some of the festivities start. I believe I'm headed over there on Friday for that. Then the real action probably comes in on Saturday and Sunday. Go to their website and check that out for details. But as far as I can think of right now, we do have a really busy May. In the meantime, just go to the calendar and check that out, because that's about all the time I have today. And until I see you again down at the club, you guys enjoy your evening. Bye.